Well, I guess we can get started. Ryan's got all kinds of topics he wants to talk about, and
let's go.
He's been getting shut down, so...
Is that for us to share?
Here we go, Amanda. I told you.
We're going to say who grabbed it first.
We had 3 bottles of water, so I took one, Amanda took one, and the last went in between you two to see who would grab it.
I want to go on the shelf right there and grab that one.
Yeah, Amanda said...
I think that's kind of funny.
That's at the cemetery.
I'll just leave it right there. We'll see how long we can last without actually taking a drink.
I already need one, but sorry.
There you go. I'll take care of it.
No,
Come on.
man. No,
That's all you.
Well, we can take some of the decorations down
I'm
and
going to.
grab a bottle. there you go.
Just be sure to edit it.
Oh, no. That's going to stay.
He didn't edit me walking across the front screen of the front camera the other day, so
Very
why
true.
why would we need to?
I did
Very
take
true.
some of that out, but not all of it.
I got you.
Hey, welcome in. We're glad you're here. GPS to God, that's where you have found your way to. Please rate, review, subscribe, help us out. We are growing. We would love to continue to grow, and we can only do that with your help. So make sure that you are spreading the word, telling other people about this podcast that you like. Maybe you love it. Who knows? But rate, review, subscribe wherever you happen to listen or watch. The only place you can watch is on YouTube.
Yeah.
But you can email us, podcast@parkwaybc.net. That is how you can get in touch with us. We're going to put some things out later this episode that we will need your replies for. So reach out to us, Parkway or podcast @parkwaybc.net.
Yeah.
You can find us on Instagram. Send us a message there. You can call us. I will give you Ryan's phone number. It is 615. He said no. He was going to let me go with that.
Come on.
You? I mean, I don't really know your phone number, but
I was going to be
That's
impressed.
why I put my thumbs up. I was like, oh no, he doesn't know my number.
no, I sure don't. But he was going to let me do it. So.
Yeah.
You cannot call us, but
They can call us.
if you email podcast@parkwaybc.net, I will send you Ryan's phone number if you ask for it, and you can call him and tell him how much you love him on this show. So
Send it. Let's go.
there you go. That's permission. So today we have with us someone you have seen on our Christmas episode. If you watched that or listened to that episode when we had 16 people in the room,
Heard plenty of her questions. Plenty of them.
she
You're
has
welcome.
she has been a huge fan of our show, maybe our biggest. Her and Lori might fight for that, but we're going to give it to Miss Amanda Mundy because she's here.
All
So
right. Thank you.
thank you for officially being here. This
Welcome.
is her first time as an official guest,
Yes.
so the group thing doesn't count.
Are the nerves there?
Yes. Very much so.
Come on.
Y'all are very intimidating. No, I'm
Hasn't
just
she?
kidding.
Hasn't she?
No.
She's turned
Say.
us down a couple times, hasn't she?
Ooh, maybe I don't know.
Have you turned us down a couple times?
I just couldn't make it work
Oh,
at the
okay.
time.
Okay.
She's
It was
busy.
last minute.
As was this. This was last minute. Not that she is our last minute
Well, I might be.
go-to person, but
Never.
we really wanted you, so we were bumping other people to get you last minute. And
I'll choose to believe that.
it worked out. Yeah, let's go with that one. Let's go with that one. So today's episode is going to be one that we have not done yet. We try and bring you all unique content and not do the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
But today it's going to be a little bit of just fun back and forth with some discussions. Maybe Amanda has a couple of questions. She sends us a lot of questions, sometimes through other people, sometimes to us directly. But we'll answer her question. She already had one. We'll hit that in a second. But we're also going to bring you a little bit of Bible trivia is not the right word, but something that has maybe stumped us or we have questions about. And maybe something inspiring if we're inspired by a certain story or verse or a couple of verses. But we're going to need some feedback from all you smart people when we do that here in a second. So,
That's a smart one over there.
well,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She is very smart. I meant the listeners. The listeners, we'll need you to
Okay.
respond and tell us how.
Yes.
I was going to say how dumb we are. That doesn't make us sound too great. You know, tell us why we are wrong. That's better. If we say something about one of these stories and you're like, you're just way off. Tell us why we're off.
Yeah.
Or you know, you might have the answer or a different way of looking at whatever we bring here in a little bit. But first,
Oh, no.
We're going to get in. Amanda hit me with this as soon as she walked in. Do you want to say?
I honestly don't even remember what I said. Oh, what is that on the wall? I couldn't see it when I watched the podcast, so
Yeah, it's a great question. We love as we are continuing to add decorations around. If you have a question of what is that or why is that there, let us know and we will respond. Email us.
Send it in.
Maybe a close-up
Instagram.
one day.
Yeah, so this is behind me. It's a poster. It's actually a metal poster that I found online, and it is old cartoon characters from.
They still make metal posters?
What do you mean still make? I mean,
yeah, like I mean, everything was just paper. Come on now.
I'm confused.
Maybe
when did they start making them?
Yeah, I mean, you said
Seems
still
like a new
make
thing.
like it's from
Like
the old
metal
days.
is-
Well, I'm thinking like
Back in the
I'm thinking
1800s.
like toys and everything, like toy cars and everything used to be all made out of metal. Now they're just made out of cheap plastic and everything. So I just assumed that that's what posters kind of thing were too.
Oh, well, there you go. See, these are the kind of debates you are getting today. So
I don't know. Maybe that was a dumb question. I'm
no,
sorry.
I mean, it caught me off guard the way you said it. So, but this
He
is
thought it was a dumb question.
I saw it. I saw it all on his face. Completely.
Yeah. I already called us dumb once. I'm not going to do it again. But so it's a poster. It has various cartoon characters from the 80s and maybe early 90s, early to mid 90s.
And I know about 3.
Yeah, some of them are pretty obscure, but Amanda, first off, got maybe one of the most obscure characters on there
Yay.
when she said
Captain Planet.
Captain Planet. Captain Planet is one of the cartoon characters on there. So we may we'll try and get a close-up picture of that and post it on.
Because I put it on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll put it on Instagram, put it on the YouTube.
Yeah. You don't know him, do you?
So I remember watching it, but I don't remember much detail about it, though.
Yeah, I'm the same. He was saving the
But I mean,
planet every
was the show
episode.
called Captain Planet?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay, so the show was
Yeah.
based around him.
They were against like pollution and
Yeah.
stuff.
They all
okay.
had the
Okay.
rings. Earth, wind,
Oh, okay.
fire. There was a fourth. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, she is going way deeper than I could have gone right
That's
there.
way
There,
That's awesome.
but so various cartoon characters and we'll put a picture of that so you can see. The cool thing about that poster is it's metal, as we have already gone through, but there's a magnet attached to the wall, so you can buy more posters and just switch them out really quickly.
Oh, that is cool.
Which is the intent.
I like that.
We just have only bought one so
Just
far.
haven't got there yet.
So we have a grand design idea in store for this back wall, if you watch on YouTube, that we just haven't done yet. And by we it's me, because just haven't had time to do it yet. So
it's going to be like a mural or something?
so the wood we had with the curtain, like the wood accents we had, we're bringing that back in a different form. It'll be a little cooler. It'll match our logo now that's on. Also, what we have, since we have restarted this season, I guess we call it a season. Since we restarted, we have new logos across all the platforms. And you'll see, maybe YouTube is the best way to see it, but you can see it on all of them. In the background is a world map. So we're going to carry that theme over onto the wood whenever we get that back on the wall.
Nice.
So if these guys didn't have, full-time jobs and families to take care of, maybe they'd come in and some of this stuff would get done a little faster. But
Have a podcast work day.
we could. Yeah. Don't know when.
Do that.
But we say that. It's harder.
Easier said than done,
Just like Amanda said.
Easier said than done.
Easier said than done. She would love to be here. But
Yes.
got to make the schedules work.
And ask ahead of time.
So there we go. Amanda walked in. That was the poster she asked about as soon as she walked in the room. There was another debate going on. Ryan brought up. I made him wait till we started. So go ahead and hit us with it.
Well, I'm not exactly. Maybe y'all can clear this up but I saw something on social media where they were passing a bill for and it was for daylight savings time, and it was just so. Is it to basically say that we're not going to do the time change anymore? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Doesn't
I would like that. I mean, like, what's the point of changing? Just leave it at 1 and be done with it.
Doesn't Arizona always?
I think Arizona already
do they
does that.
already?
Arizona does not
They
observe.
don't acknowledge.
Yeah. daylight savings
Yeah.
time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they said you keep your craziness. We're good here.
Yeah. I wonder why they've been the only one over the years.
I think
To
there's
not.
maybe Hawaii
couple.
doesn't.
I think
Okay.
they're on the border of the time change or the time zones.
I gotcha.
So are we matching them right now as far as what they already observe, or are we now an hour off of what their schedule is?
I mean, it
Of
would
what they
be
go
an
by.
hour different of whatever it was.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying like
they're still ahead of us. They're in a different time zone, so they're still ahead of us.
Are they mountain or are they Pacific?
I have no idea.
Is it Pacific?
Hard hitting questions here. I have no answers for. Google could probably help us out. but-
Podcast at parkwayBC.net.
that's not
There we
Google,
go.
but okay.
Hey, we want fan. So I will say we love fan interaction.
We do.
Yeah, we want the
anytime
comments. We
that
do.
happens,
I'll take my
it's
comment
great for
back.
us. So yeah, let us know. See, we need help around here. But
Yeah.
the Senate or the House, one or the other, passed that bill, and now it will go to the other side for them to vote on. If they
Right.
approve it, it will go to the president. So I did not know that happened before. In the 70s, I think, they did away with it and kept it for 2 or 3 years, 4 years, something, and then brought it back. Because they said in some places, like the sun didn't come up until 8 or 8:30 or maybe 9 o'clock, something like that. So,
Something always to complain about.
you know,
That would be tough, I guess.
I don't care which one you pick. Pick one and stay with it. Like, let's not
Yeah.
change anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you're going to have to give something
Yeah.
on one end or the other. Just pick one. Keep it. That's
Yeah.
my vote. But
I say leave it the way it is now. Like, I like having my son in the afternoon.
Yeah. I will miss that 1 extra hour of sleep in
Yeah,
the fall.
you'll get used to it.
but you don't.
They
Have
can
to,
make that up to me somehow.
you don't have to give up that hour in the spring. That's how
I
they're making it up
know.
right there.
Yeah.
I know.
But I have heard some people say, like, if it's dark when kids are out catching the bus, that's a safety concern.
Oh.
But I mean, I remember it being dark when I had to catch the bus. Sometime, like I was fine. It wasn't that big a deal.
Lily will do just fine.
Yeah.
Like I'll make sure she doesn't matter. We'll put her out there.
All right, Amanda. Let me see. Okay, I got some notes, but I remember one already. We're going to put you on the spot. Russell, you can thank us later because
Dum dum dum.
this is the easiest thing he will ever have to do. He's just got to do exactly what she says.
Ooh.
What is today the perfect date? If you could say, I would love for this to happen, what would that be? And it may not be, your answer today may not be what
Yeah.
you would have said 10 years ago.
Right.
So,
Well, I like food, so a nice dinner somewhere. I like steak. And I like games a lot, so he could take me to play putt-putt. He could take me to an arcade, a game night with friends if he would just schedule that and surprise me with it, or buy me a game and we would play it without a time limit. And he could play as long as I wanted. That would be perfect for me.
I mean, that is
That's pretty cool.
specific enough.
Russell,
He-
if you have
he-
questions after that,
He should not have, but it's also open enough that it would be a surprise.
Yeah.
It would be,
yep,
Correct.
that was perfect.
Yay!
I think Amanda is
Fun. Oh,
Yes, that's where I was going. Like
All the above.
game night, she wants to play game night. Cartoons from the 80s and 90s. Like she's right there in the wheelhouse.
thank you.
All right, Russell, there you go. That's softball. Lobbed it up there for you,
Yeah.
buddy. We want to report
Swing
back
away.
Yes.
here. I mean, we don't expect this to happen before the next episode, but
Might. You never know.
it could. It
never
could.
know.
But well, I mean.
Oh,
So we're recording this. There'll be a couple episodes come out before this one
Right.
comes out because we have recorded ahead a little bit. But so we will update you all as soon as we have an update. If we have an update,
I hope you do.
and if not, Russell is in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we cut out, but Fano did actually get up and get some water. So if you were looking at our camera now, the nice little triangle stack we had of water had the top cut off.
Did.
I'm sure that's a shape. What shape is that?
Pyramid.
Well, a
Not
pyramid
anymore.
with the top cut off. Isn't that
Oh,
like a
what is it
geometry
now?
shape or something? Yeah. Hey, let us know, all you smart math people out there. What shape would that be? Rhombus?
I think
Trapezoid?
you should know this is like something to do with hockey,
Yeah.
isn't it? Isn't this kind of like the shape of like? Isn't there like a rule in hockey of like where the goal's at and everything? And
The crease. I mean, that's like a half circle.
is it really?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
What is four sides?
Yeah. What?
Quadrilateral.
Hey, look,
don't-
that sounds like a math term right there. There we go. All right, Amanda.
Yeah.
So, since you always have questions for us, I have some questions for you. Don't get too excited.
Bum, bum, bum.
I know. I like asking. I don't like receiving.
So we start this show. It's just me making stuff up in the moment off the top of my head. How should we start the show? Should there be like a standard entrance, like some saying like "Welcome back" or something like that?
No. I like the way you close it. You should close the show the same way. I like the way you close it.
What do you mean?
I know. It seems like you end on a good note rather than start with the same thing. See what I'm saying?
Just like the Bible verse? Is that
Yeah.
what you're talking?
And
Okay.
I like the way you end it. I don't think
Okay.
you have to have something to start with that's the same every time, too.
Well-
That's not the answer you wanted.
Yeah, I'm just confused. I'm trying to like process that in my head because I think when we
Just
end it,
edit this. This is no good.
oh no, this is staying in. Like when at the end of the show, it's
You're
just
locked in.
I mean, that's just making
Yeah.
stuff up too. So, hey, thanks for listening. Come back, do it again, kind of deal. So
You need a catchy phrase.
I know that's what I'm asking you. Do we need a catchy phrase? What should it be?
I'm
like?
saying you should probably at the end.
Oh, at the
Leave
end.
them with something.
Leave them with something. Leave them wanting more. All right. Well, so Amanda thinks we need a catchphrase at the end.
I don't know.
But
What-
nothing in the beginning.
What
Just
would
jump
your
right in the
ideas be?
beginning.
We need
Should
some
we-
ideas.
Okay.
Should
Do you have a
we-
catchphrase?
No,
That you're
that's
thinking?
no. That's what we need.
I don't like this. You
Should
sprung
we-
this on me.
Yeah,
Should
we
we-
need natural reactions. We can't have this.
Well, you got an
rehearsed.
awful one, so that's what you got.
She said you
Should
got
we,
one.
should
Yeah.
we
Mine was the
introduce
greatest,
the
but you got
guest like right away, or kind of talk like they're not here, and then like
No, that's
15 minutes in?
awkward.
Welcome, folks. Amanda's
Yeah,
here.
I've seen it a few times where the guests are just sitting there.
Okay,
So,
so
yeah.
just right away with
That
the
was at
guest.
the very
That's what I kind
beginning.
of sometimes thought.
I mean,
We've
we were still
improved,
learning.
yeah.
that was at the beginning.
Yeah,
but
no,
like,
it's all good.
so when we talk, like, we're not ignoring the guest.
I know.
Some just are more apt to jump in the conversation than others. Some just sit there until we say, "Hey, what about this?"
Yeah.
Like me.
So no catchphrase comes to your mind or like intro of, "Hey, you have navigated your way to GPS to
Have
God."
a contest for the catchphrase.
We should.
That'd be
So,
cool.
if you think we need a catchphrase and you come up with one, we will send you something. I don't know what.
All
Gift
right.
card. Gift cards are
Awesome.
easy.
Not to
Put some
change
stuff out there
subject
and we
real
use it.
quick, but would you consider that's the same shape as what
Correct.
that is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
four
is
sides.
considered a trapezoid.
Hey, I threw that. That was one of my 5
You
guesses.
did say that.
Very nice.
Yes, trapezoid is the answer.
I was just trying to name shapes that I thought
Yeah.
were real.
When did you Google shapes with 4 sides?
Well, I first went to hockey because I was trying to figure out if what I said was legit or not, and I couldn't find anything. It brought up like circle and semicircle and all this kind of stuff. So I was like, forget it. Okay, rhombus. And then it finally, I saw, that's obviously not a rhombus, but it brought that shape up. So I clicked on it. And
All right. So, yeah, if you think we should have a certain phrase that welcomes people into the show each week, let us know what that is. And if we see one that we like,
If we pick yours,
if we pick yours,
then
we'll send you a gift card.
we'll like.
What,
Okay.
what's the amount? Yeah. Like,
You're the budget guy.
oh, yeah, well, all right. $25.
surprise,
Well, it'll be at least $25. At least
it'll be worth
$25.
more than the card.
Cha-ching.
Yeah.
Cha-ching.
So, there
I
you
bet
go.
Zach would double that. So make it 50.
There we go. Zach.
Glad that wasn't us saying it.
Zach Edson, I'm sure he will chip in on that. So $50 gift card if you send us a catchphrase, a way to
Are we
open the
doubling 50?
show.
That's nice, man.
A way to open the show.
Good job.
Hey, I think Russell did a little bit of that when he was here one time too. So
Should. He's got it to burn.
yeah,
Yeah.
Got it
but
to burn.
yeah, if you send us an opening phrase or saying that we use, we'll send you a $50 gift card, courtesy of GPS to God and Mr. Zach Edson. So, all right, one more question. I think 2 more questions.
This better be good.
No. Should fans have names? Like, should the fans of this,
Yes.
like what
Ooh.
what should they be
Interesting.
called?
Ooh, okay.
Handle?
like like a group of
Yeah.
Okay.
like the fans
The
in
fans,
general
okay.
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
show. What should they be called in a collective? Like
That's a
instead of
great
just saying,
question,
"Hey,
'cause I
our
have no clue.
fans,"
Yeah. We need a name.
be like the So another contest. Zach,
Yeah.
pony up,
Yeah.
buddy.
Let
Zach,
me
pony
think
up.
on that.
Yeah.
So all right,
That's a good.
If
that's
you
a-
send
that's
us
great,
a
that's-
group name, what should the
Yeah.
fans be called?
Never thought
We'll
of
send
that.
you a $50 gift card if we like it.
Yeah.
If we don't, we're going to read these responses on air as well, so you will at least get your name out there.
Yeah.
And $50 gift card. We're giving two away. Podcast at parkwaybc.net or hit us up on Instagram, one or the other, and we will
That was a great contest.
take all of your
That's a great
submissions.
contest. Man,
All right. Now,
well done.
I'm broke. I got to quit giving money away. But last thing here before we move on. Storytime with Russell, well established, has had several episodes. I think Amanda and I don't think this has been on the air. It might have been Storytime with Amanda. We did it on the Christmas episode. She told a great story. That's probably how we'll end the episode today with her catchphrase.
What if I don't want it to be?
Well, yeah.
I don't think
Too bad I'm stuck with it.
Hey, it's great. Everybody, if you have not heard that story, go back and listen to the Christmas episode. It was great. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Amanda's a little embarrassed by it. I would not be. There's no reason to be. But story time with Amanda. Do you have another story off the top of your head that you can throw out there? And
Yes.
all right, here we go.
She answered that pretty quick, actually.
No.
Well, she
All
and I
mine are
talked,
embarrassing moments.
well, she talked about. We've talked about it before,
Okay.
and she was like, "I've got lots of stories." So I was like, "Okay, here we go."
I shouldn't have said that
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, all mine are embarrassing moments. So maybe you should retitle this "Embarrassing Moments with Amanda."
There we go. That's what we're here.
What'd you do this week? No.
We're taking care of business today, and now we've got a new story time with Russell that can be his.
Right.
Yeah.
Embarrassing moments with Amanda.
Great.
Fire away.
Yeah. So in college, so I went to a local college here. It's a Christian university, so not big by college standards. So most of my classes were maybe 10, 20 people at the most. But one class was required for all students. So this was like my biggest class probably that I was in. It was probably like 50 kids in the class. And so the first day we go into this class, and it's like rows. There's like, 10 rows of chairs all the way back. So I'm in the second row, and the professor comes in, nice guy. And it's like high school. He's like, let's go around and say our names and where we're from and something we're looking forward to in this class.
I
you
mean,
know?
that's like
Icebreaker.
fifth grade. That's
Yes,
not even high school. That's
exactly.
like fifth grade.
Exactly. So, of course, that took the whole time to get through everybody, which I thought I would be one of the first because I'm in the second row. Well, he starts on the other end of the room. So I've got this whole time to think about what I'm going to say, how can I make myself different and interesting. And so he gets to me, and I say, I'm Amanda, and I'm from Nash Vegas. And I just thought everybody would just hoop and holler over that. Well, he heard Las Vegas. And at the time, we were having like a ton of rain. It was just like every day it rained for like 2 weeks. And so he went off on this tangent. Well, what do you think about the rain here? Since you're from Las Vegas, I've never seen anything like this before, so I had to play into it as if I am from Las Vegas because I was not going to admit that in front of everybody that I don't. Let me also back up and say I was a commuter, so I didn't have any friends because I would go to class and I would go home, so I didn't stay and hang out in a dorm with anybody, so I didn't know anybody. So nobody wanted to be my friend after this, I'm sure. So I had to play along the whole semester as if I was from Las Vegas, and rain was amazing. I had never experienced it before, so
I expected you played along for the day, and
Right.
kind of went
yeah,
away.
he referenced it
bit.
once or twice, not much, but I was that's me. Yeah. So don't say Nash Vegas. Lesson learned.
Make sure they hear you.
Yeah.
Embarrassing
Enunciate.
moments. with Amanda. There we go.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Does anybody else want to share an embarrassing moment?
No.
Okay.
Nothing tops that.
Daniel?
No.
I don't know that I have one locked and loaded like that. That was
Good for you.
yeah, that was almost premeditated, but it wasn't.
It was.
She just carries
Yeah.
those stories around like that. So.
Does.
I was in 6th grade, had a stopped up nose or whatever, super quiet. I don't know if we were taking a test or just doing work, but everybody's at their desk, quiet, doing work. I sneeze, and when I sneeze, I turn, put my face like on my shoulder, had a jacket on, snot like from my shoulder halfway down my arm, just all over my jacket. I was like, ah. And 6th grade, everything's embarrassing, and it was already quiet. So then I'm looking around like, who looked up when
Yeah.
I sneezed? Who's
Right.
looking at me to see
Of course.
this? And of course, nobody did. I don't know how, but they did not
Nice.
see it. But
Wow.
then I have the problem of I've got this
How you get it off? Yeah.
mess on my jacket that I
Right.
have to get off. And
Wow.
I don't remember exactly how I got it off, if I took some paper or what. But yeah. So yeah,
Nice.
there's an embarrassing story right off the top of my head. I mean, I'm not too embarrassed by it today, but I might have been at one time.
Yeah.
In the moment, I guarantee
Yeah.
I was embarrassed.
Of course. Yeah. Sure.
Only one I can think of off the top of my head was one year, about, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. I'm playing softball with this team, and it's a bunch of new guys that I don't know who they are. I just started picking up, playing with them. And I hit a double, and the next guy hit a double. So I'm running in, and I'm not watching where I'm running, and I trip over third base. And I go head first into the into the dirt. But instead of just getting up, collecting myself, and then going, I decide I still need to score. So the whole way to the home, I'm basically crawling the whole way there because I couldn't get up. Every time I get up, I'd fall back down. So from then on, I got called Crawfish because I'm from Louisiana. So they called me Crawfish forever because of that. But yeah, I crawled the whole way home. So
That's
that
what's
was-
going in one of these cubbies.
Yeah,
Crawfish.
Yeah.
Got it.
Picture of a crawfish.
one of the many nicknames I've had.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. I mean, I'm like, I don't know, 26, something like that, maybe 25.
Did you make it? Did you
Oh,
score?
I definitely scored.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Definitely scored.
That's impressive.
That's all
Yeah.
that
You
matters.
crawled all the way and you still
Yeah.
scored.
I don't know if it would be calling it a crawl. It was more like take about 5 steps, I fell again. And I got back up, and I just never got my
Were
feet
you
on me.
dizzy? Or?
I don't know, but I mean, like every time I take those steps, I was leaning, like my momentum was going too much, and I just never caught myself.
I got you.
Went.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that was a good one. You're welcome. I've never
That's
talked
pretty
about that.
good.
Well, now that we are all sufficiently embarrassed,
Except Fana.
yeah,
Ron, I mean,
Come on, speak up.
The singing telegram thing in high
Yeah.
school. I mean, Russell told that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
think
the-
you could tell it
that's
as good
the
as
jam.
Russell.
No chance. No chance.
All right, so we'll move on to our next topic here: Bible stories or Bible verses that inspire us or stump us, or just we have some questions about of what really happened. So, I think there are lots of times where we will hear a Bible story from the time we were kids, and we just picture it one way, or sometimes it'll be depicted a certain way, and we just carry that with us through adulthood, and kind of, maybe that's not really the way it was, and we just haven't studied that story enough as an adult to know, oh, that's not exactly right.
Yeah.
But who wants to go first? Anybody got one ready? So I'll start if no one else is like chomping at the bit. Amanda looks like
I have one, but you
she-
go ahead.
Yeah, she's giving me a funny look over there. So
That's just my face.
Russell's got nothing on her. Let me tell you. So the story of Saul, who later became Paul, but when he was still Saul, if you don't know this story, Saul was a leader in the community who persecuted Christians, murdered them, chased them down all over the place, would get permission from different authorities in different places to persecute these Christians, lock them up, murder them, all kinds of stuff. He was on his way to a town called Damascus, traveling down the road when he had an encounter with Jesus. I think a common misconception is, and maybe it's just me. If it's just me, tell us. And these are the things we would like you all to respond to and give clarity to, or agree with us. Like, oh, I saw it that way too. But a lot of times, in my head anyway, a misconception was Saul saw Jesus and looked at him and was. But if you read the passage, it doesn't really say he saw Jesus. So let me read this for you real quick. This is found in Acts chapter 9. Acts chapter 9. This is starting with verse 1. Saul, still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord, went to the high priest, asked him for letters to the synagogues at Damascus, so that if he found any belonging to the way, that is, belonging to the beliefs of Jesus, men or women, he might bring them bound to Jerusalem. Now as he went on his way, he approached Damascus, and suddenly a light from heaven flashed around him. And falling to the ground, he heard a voice saying to him, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And he said, Who are you, Lord? And he said, I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting. But rise and enter the city, and you will be told what you are to do. The men who were traveling with him, with Saul, stood speechless, hearing the voice, but seeing no one. Saul rose from the ground, and although his eyes were opened, he saw nothing. So they led him by the hand and brought him into Damascus, and for 3 days he was without sight, and neither ate nor drank. So in my head, like when I've heard that story before, I just imagine when they're having this conversation, Saul and Jesus, like he sees Jesus. He's looking at who he's talking to and who is talking to him. But studying this later, it was, I don't know that he ever saw, it doesn't say he saw Jesus. He fell to the ground. There was just a flash from heaven around him, and then he fell to the ground and heard the voice talking to him. And then he responded to the voice. But this is a good example of what I was saying earlier, of stories that, whether it's a cartoon in a children's hallway in church or something like that we may have seen that kind of depicts a story one way, and we get an image in our head, but that's not really how it came to be. So,
yeah.
Any thoughts? Y'all think I'm crazy?
No.
Well, not even that. I think sometimes where you just hear the story from different people's opinion of what they read, and it changes it, So I've done that a couple times where I've heard someone say a story, and I go, okay, that makes sense, and then someone else says the same story, and it's completely different. Like you got a complete different aspect of the story, different opinion of it.
Well, the Bible does, I'm amazed by the way God continues to speak to us our entire lives.
Yeah.
We can read the same Bible passage 100 times over however many years, and on the 101st time, we will pick up something new.
Yeah.
Or he'll reveal something new to us and I have read this over and over and over and never thought about this or never caught this part of it or what. I mean, that's amazing how he continues to nurture us. We don't just get it and then we got it. It's a continuing process our entire lives here.
Yeah.
But podcast at parkwaybc.net or Instagram, reach out to us. Let us know. Am I crazy? Maybe you have some more literature on this or a different study. You can point some clarity and say, oh, I think he did see Jesus because of this. Or, no, I think you're right. I've never thought of it that way myself. So hopefully we are here to help. And, we want you to help us as well if we're saying craziness. So,
yeah.
I don't know how to transition into another story, but that's exactly what we are doing. So you heard my Saul on the road to Damascus story where and my argument against him not seeing Jesus, and now we are going to send it on over to Amanda.
All right. Well, this isn't the one I brought. I'm going to come to that. But it made me think thinking something different than what you grew up believing. So Jonah, I always thought it was a whale. We were taught, I know I was taught that as a child. It was a whale. But then high school, read it. No, the scriptures do say just a big fish.
Yeah.
So that tripped me up for a while, which is still crazy, a big fish.
Yeah. I don't know that people are being malicious in that. I think for like that story and stories like it, maybe it's easier if we're teaching kids that we say a whale, because
Yeah.
most kids will know a whale is big. I don't know why you couldn't say big fish, because that's pretty easy for a kid to understand
Yeah.
too. But
Yeah.
I think that may be where some of that confusion
Yeah.
comes from a typical child's Bible story that is shared
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay. The one I did bring, though, takes us to Exodus, when Moses has trying to get the people, the Israelites, out of Egypt, and he goes to Pharaoh over and over again and has to send all the plagues. But the thing that trips me up is when it talks about God harden Pharaoh's heart. Have y'all read that? And he won't let his people go. He won't, and then when he does let them go, he hardens his heart again and wants them back. So he goes and chases after them. So that's always trips me up, why he had to do that and why he just didn't have the free choice.
Mm.
He might have. I don't know. Somebody explain it to me.
I don't have that
I
answer.
know.
I do not have that answer.
Well, I think,
Yeah.
I mean, God definitely changes people. When we're reading stories in the Bible, he will do things to people so that they act a certain way or make certain decisions for God's plan to be carried
Right.
out. You know,
Yeah.
if Pharaoh was just totally in agreement,
Yeah, it wouldn't have had the same.
you know, he's not sending his army after the Israelites, and he's
Yeah.
not doing all these other, you
Then
know,
they
he-
wouldn't have the Red Sea.
and then, you know, God would not be able to show us and show the Israelites then in real time of his protection, his love. He's going to do what he's telling them he's
Right.
going to do and that kind of thing.
Yeah. But also along that story, does it ever trip you up when Moses does the trick that got, you know, where he throws the staff down and it becomes a snake and then he picks it up? And how did the little magicians or whatever they called them back then in Pharaoh's court, how could they do that too?
Podcast at Parkway.
Yeah.
DC.net.
Exactly.
That's a
I think they just had a snake up the sleeve that they just,
I heard something on this
Illusion.
yeah.
not long ago. So one, if you believe in Jesus and his mighty power and all the great things he does, has done, is doing, will do for us, you also have to believe
Yeah.
he's going against an enemy, a foe. So there are evil spirits and demons in this world.
Yeah.
To me, you cannot believe in one and not the other.
Right.
Right.
Because God tells us the evil exists. So there are dark powers and whatever the
Yeah.
right term is, evil spirits able to do things that seem like
Yeah.
they're impossible to us through you know,
Yeah.
the bad juju side.
Yeah.
So maybe it's that, but
Yeah.
somebody said, this is going to sound dumb if I'm totally off, send us an email. But like there was a certain kind of snake or a trick they could do where it was like, seemed like it was like, you know, stiff like a staff or something, but then they could throw it down and it would start to move. And I don't know. So I really wish I had a better
No, that's good.
memory of what I listened to or saw discussing that very topic. But
This verse, you know, just I've always gone back to it kind of thing, and just how amazing God is, and just reading this. So John 16:33, I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world. So at any moment, you know, you could sit there and say, well, oh, I lost my job, or, you know, whatever the case may be that's putting you down at one point or another. God comes back to you and says, hey, I've taken care of everything for you. Your path is taken care of. I've conquered this world, or overcome this world. You're good. Just pray to him, you know, and your ways will be done. Or that didn't sound right. It sounded good in my head, but
Yeah. We know what
You know what I meant.
We know.
So mine is it is always, I'll get to the verse, but I'll kind of give a little background to it, I guess. Mine is when Jesus is, before he gets arrested, and he predicts Judas betraying him. And just a part that I kind of miss in that whole story is that when he said who would betray him is the person that dipped the bread, and that of course was Judas. And it says in here that at that point Satan entered him, and then Jesus told him, "What you're doing, do quickly." So obviously he already knew. Already predicted that Peter was going to deny him 3 times, and the verse comes to, he's saying that he's going to go prepare a place. They can't go with him, but he's going to come back one day. So, of course, they all want to go with him, wondering where he's going to go. So Thomas says, we don't know where you're going. How can we know the way? And Jesus spells it out for him. It starts John 14:6. He says, Jesus told him, "I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you know me, you will also know my Father. From now on, you do know him and have seen him." So really speaks to me. A lot of people, a lot of religions have acts that you can do to earn your way to heaven, things that you can do on this earth. Even people that don't believe in God just think that I'm a good person. I don't do anything bad. I'm a good person, so yeah, of course I'll go to heaven. But you have to, it all comes through him, and that, has always spoke to me. It doesn't matter if I'm a good person, what I do, I have to believe in him, believe that he came and sent his son down on the cross to forgive us of our sins, and that's our way to get to heaven. So that's always spoke to me, that there's only one way. So in this world, you might hear otherwise, but for me, that's always spoke to me.
I would say you will definitely hear otherwise.
For sure.
Can I share mine? Because
Oh, you have another?
well,
You
I
have
don't want
another
everybody
one.
to think I'm
Bonus
just.
time.
Yeah, I don't want everybody to think I'm just stumped on the Bible.
No.
No, I have a favorite one too, and it's the one I've liked ever since I was a little girl, and it's Romans 8:28, which is a common verse, but at the time I thought I had found this secret verse that nobody knew about. But it said, "We know that in all things God works together for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose," and that's just always been special to me. It just makes me know how faithful he is in my life, and he's going to work everything out no matter how bad I think something looks and is in the moment. It's for my good. All things are for my good that he's working out for me. So that's a comfort to me, especially in times of trouble.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I have to share an inspiring one now.
You don't.
One that
there's plenty of verses that stump me. I
yeah.
went to that one just,
God has empowered me and protected me my whole life. Any successes I have or have had are because of Him, because of what He has given me, and He has me in. I only succeed because of His power, that He puts a little bitty piece in me, but. So because of that, that's the only thing in my life that if I really lost, I would, it would ruin my life. Not that I want to lose anything else, but God tells us He should be above our families. He should be above everything else in this world. But so losing Him, that would really be the only thing that would really be a huge, ruin my life. So this is Romans 8:38. And 39, "For I am sure that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor rulers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers, nor height, nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus our Lord." So there is no reason for me to fear anything, because there is absolutely nothing at all that can separate me from God and from His love through His Son. So to me, that's a huge inspiration. It may cause me to be a knucklehead at sometimes and be like overly confident when I should not be. But that is a huge two verses of inspiration to me to know that no matter what, I cannot be separated from God. So
I like it.
a stupid analogy. I shouldn't even say this, but I already started, so I will. If you've ever seen the movie The Never-Ending Story, there's a huge like rock man in that movie who's like the strongest thing that, you know, they're just marvel at his strength, and he's holding the main character in his hand. There's a storm kind of thing that comes through. I don't want to ruin the movie if you haven't seen it over the last 40 years it's been out, but he's holding the main character in his hand, trying to protect him from the storm, and he gets ripped out of the rock monster's hand. He's like, I was so strong and I couldn't hold on to him. And so to me, that is the exact, like, it doesn't matter what comes through. Nothing can ever take us out of God's hand and take us away from Him. I don't know why that clicks in my head. It's a dumb way for me to relate things, but
No, I like it.
there you
Good.
go.
Have you seen that movie?
He is not.
No.
I can answer that.
Oh.
With
Whoa.
Ron, I have not seen that movie.
Wow.
What is it called again?
The Never-Ending Story.
I think it's on Netflix or Disney or.
So
one
how
of
did it
them.
end?
No, don't
It's
ruin
not.
it.
No.
I will watch
Never
it.
ends.
Never, yeah, still
I
going.
will
It's
watch
like a 80s movie made in the 80s. Kind of, cult classic may not be the right word, but you know, it wasn't a mainstream movie. I think when it was released, it was not like a theatrical hit, but it was like a cult classic or whatever the right term is. So my other thing I was talking about, how we can kind of, hear a Bible story, read a Bible story, and picture it one way in our head, and that may not be what the Bible says. So in the book of Esther, when the king could not sleep, I always thought that it was God made it, where the king could not sleep. And that still may be the case, but that's not what it says. It says, this is chapter 6, on that night the king could not sleep. So it doesn't say specifically God made it where he could not sleep. But I've always had that in my head of God made it where he couldn't sleep. And that may very well be the case, but that's not what it says.
I wonder if there was like a different verse or something, like a different version.
I
of
did
the
look it
Bible that
up.
Maybe said.
I looked
that
it up
way.
in the King James version, and
right.
it said the same thing.
Okay.
I did not look it up past that. I just went back to the tried and true King James version. But so yeah, just how we kind of sometimes get an impression that a story is one way, and that may not be what it says. But let us know what you think. Podcast, parkwaybc.net. Podcast at parkwaybc.net. Or hit us up on Instagram. Call Ryan. You got an email to get his phone number. So.
You caught me off guard with the question, so I've got one for you.
Oh, here we go.
So, not every week, but a lot of weeks our Sunday school class will do a question of the week that we all have to answer. And this just came up, and we worded it, your weird desire. So, for example, Russell really would love to cut off a long ponytail of somebody. Mine was that I would like to be somewhere where the confetti falls on me.
Yeah.
So they actually did,
Championship
game.
yes, but they actually did it when I was pregnant, and at the baby shower, they did a confetti cannon thing. So that was fulfilled. So, what is a weird desire that you would really like to accomplish or have happen?
So while you're thinking about that, if you have a ponytail that you would like cut
Yes.
off,
We'll do it on there.
we will
Do it on
record that and let
yes.
Russell cut that off. And yeah, I don't know what will come from that.
Hopefully you live
but,
close.
Yes. If you live in the greater Nashville, Tennessee
Right.
area, if you happen to be one of our overseas listeners, thank you very much for listening. We love all of you.
Yes, we
We
do.
would love to hear more from you, so make sure you reach out to us however you can. But Russell ain't coming over there to cut your ponytail. So you can come here. You can come visit. We'll put you up, and you can
Free haircut.
get a free haircut. Travels on your own. We'll feed you while you're here. though.
Zach will provide the. No, I was kidding.
Oh my goodness.
Boy, Zach is man. He's got a lot
I'm
to
just
live
kidding.
up to. I got to call him after this and let him know what he's on the hook for.
He's got it.
All right. So, what was the question? Weird something.
Like a
that-
weird desire.
Weird desire.
You got me stumped on that. I'm thinking.
Oh,
I'm thinking.
So I'm gonna probably come up with an answer, but when I leave here, I'll be like, "Oh, I should have said this."
That always happens to me. So.
Oh.
If you
You
all
want to
have,
leave him with the cliffhanger?
nah, I'll throw something out there. But so, what's that movie? Is it a Jim Carrey movie?
Mask.
Cable Man.
Well, yes,
Ace
those are
Ventura.
Jim Carrey movies.
Liar, liar.
But it might be the one where he's the newsman.
The
Is-
Grinch.
No.
Yes. And he becomes like God.
Yeah, and he's like fulfills people's dreams because there's an old lady in a hospital who wants to swim
Bruce
in spaghetti.
Bruce Almighty?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he fills a swimming pool with, I think it's a Jim Carrey movie. He fills a swimming pool with spaghetti and lets her swim. Maybe it's Patch Adams. That's not Jim Carrey. That's not
Like,
Jim
I don't
Carrey.
remember that.
Yeah. That's Robin
seen it in a
Williams.
while.
Robin Williams. So Patch Adams, the
Okay,
movie
I've
Patch.
not seen that.
He.
Me neither.
Oh, that's a pretty
Have
good
you?
one.
Yes, I have.
Ooh. Okay.
So he is
Good old red nose.
becoming a doctor.
Right.
But he's doing stuff before he's a doctor and people get mad at him. But he's making people feel better. There's an old lady, like 90 years old in that movie. All she ever wanted to do was swim in spaghetti. So he fills up a swimming pool with spaghetti and brings her out of the hospital and lets her swim in. Not Jim Carrey. That would be Robin Williams. So
that's yours?
no,
Oh.
no. I'm just,
That looks cool to
Spaghetti.
you?
no. But I would. It's kind of tough. A weird.
Yeah. How does it feel?
Yeah, well, yeah, not great. But, yeah, let us know your weird desires that you may like to.
I think I've always something I've always wanted to kind of do. I guess
Yeah.
would be like a pole vault,
Ooh, yeah. That'd be cool.
like doing that and going up or whatever, and seeing how that feels. I know that I would never ever be able to do that, or ever would even try to do it.
Yeah.
You got to have confidence to just go for it.
Right.
Like that's a.
Like that feeling of going up, and then once you get up and falling, that'd be pretty cool.
It's a good one.
Yeah, always when the Olympics come around, I always envy those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's strange, but that's the question, right?
It is.
There you go.
I would say play horse with Michael Jordan for a Big Mac, but that's not really the same thing. That's more of a wish list
Yeah,
thing than
dream.
something
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Gosh, something weird. That is a tough one. But I don't know. See, I've been very blessed. I've got to do a lot of things in my life that I thought were cool and not a ton of people got to do. So, I maybe I don't really have that desire because I've done things that are kind of exclusive.
Okay.
I mean, it would feel weird to jump in a pool full of Jell-O.
Yeah.
But is that something
So I
you
don't
want
know-
to do? Do you
I
have
don't
a
know if I'd call
desire
it
to do
weird.
that?
I mean, not like an over
Yeah.
huge desire. No. I will say, so we had game day here before. I don't remember exactly, but I had to. I mean, every team had to have somebody do this, but they had a small kiddie pool filled with like ramen noodles, and you had to like stick your foot in there and pull out something. So I kind of did this spaghetti thing with just my foot. It was very weird feeling. I would not want to do it with my whole body.
Yeah.
Man, you stumped me. I don't get stumped very
All
often.
right.
I think
The
I'm
Bible,
stumped.
and now me.
I will say that every time I see any kind of like confetti falling down, I think of her.
You
Every single time. I tell Lori, I was like, Amanda Monday.
I'd love to be there.
Yep.
So I don't know if I'd call it weird, but so I've been skydiving before, and I know you've done it 1,000 times, but what is it called when they have like the suit, like the wingsuit kind of thing?
A wingsuit,
and they is that what it's legitimately called? Okay, so the wingsuit, and like where it actually feels like you're flying more than falling.
Nice.
So like gracefully falling.
Yeah, you are still falling, just
Yeah.
at a slower rate of descent. You
Yeah.
you can manipulate it to get a little
Now,
uptick, but you can't,
obviously, I will
fly.
never ever do it because you have to do it by yourself. You can't do that tandem or whatever it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
About to
so
say, maybe
it
we
would
can make that
take-
happen. But
No, don't. I would like to still live. So
yeah, we want you to live.
yeah, but that would be pretty cool.
Nice.
that would be. I would do that.
So
Yeah.
you got to come with something next time. Because Ryan and Amanda went. I
But see,
went,
okay, so that to me, that's not a weird thing. That's more of a wish, like me playing horse with Michael Jordan.
But
Yeah,
it's still a feeling,
I can't
though.
think of a
You're in a
weird
wing, so
thing,
it's
though.
kind of a feeling. Kind of like Russell would get.
I would
in
be
that little
feeling
snippet.
great if I was playing horse with Michael Jordan. Now he would beat me, like I'd have all 5 letters and he'd have 0, but I would still feel great, and I'd
Gotcha.
buy him a Big Mac. So that's a reference to an old commercial.
Yes.
Ryan has no idea what we're talking about. Michael
Bird.
Jordan and Larry Bird played horse for a Big Mac.
Yeah, we're like in the 80s.
Off the scoreboard, off the bleachers, nothing but net. Shoot you for a Big Mac. So that's how that commercial went.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I mean that would be
yeah.
yeah. I mean I don't know weird stuff. Like I just have like wish lists. Like let's go on tour with some band or something like. But that's still not weird. I don't think. So
Okay.
I don't know. I'm going to claim I'm stumped, but I'll think about it.
Okay.
I'll let you know if I come up with something, and I will share it on the air if I do.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Don't hold your breath. So. Well, we're glad we've expelled about as much breath as we can in this episode. So we still want to hear from you. One more time, podcast at parkwaybc.net, Instagram. Reach out to us. Let us know what you feel about these topics today. Chime in.
Yeah.
Give us some thoughts. Give us some insight. Should our fans have names? You are one of our fans. If you're listening, should you have a group name? If so, send it to us. We're giving gift cards away. An intro. Should we have a standard intro? Giving a gift card away for that too. Perfect date night. Amanda had a great one. Russell, I hope you took notes. If not, hit rewind and listen again. But do you have a perfect date night? Or what would your perfect date night be? Send that in. And we did not share. We'll save that for another episode. 'Cause, man, we're out of time. Look at that. Look at that. But,
Time flies.
Yeah. But we are very happy that you made it in today. We hope to see you again next. Oh, we can't. Who's got a Bible? You almost let me get away without a Bible verse. All right,
Because
so
we did it earlier.
yeah, those were Bible stories, but we did share some verses. But man, we can't get out of the official,
Right.
the official verse of the day. All right, Proverbs. This is chapter 16, verse number 9. Just happens to be highlighted in my Bible, and it says, "The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps." So God will guide you if you are seeking him. Make sure that he is first. There's nothing more important than this, and you cannot be separated from his love, as we heard earlier in the book of Romans. So thank you for tuning in, and we hope to have all of you back again here next week on GPS to God. Is that what you meant? That was the ending you were craving?
Well, the Bible verse is the ending.
Oh, okay. All right. So there we go.
Yeah. That's your.
Are you closing it?
everywhere.
Are you closing
I
this
think we
out?
did this verse before.
Am I supposed to be, or is this over?
It's over.
It's over.
Okay, yeah. Like, I thought we were done.
I'll just let her think about it.
I think we've done that before.
Okay, I changed my
I love
answer.
you.
Y'all might need. I love you too. You might need a.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's what I was trying to say.
Oh, sorry. I was like,
She's like, I love you too.
so you didn't mean that.
That-
Now I'm
I
embarrassed.
of course did.
Another embarrassing moment with Amanda. She told Ryan she loved him.
She told God. She tells everybody that.
Yeah.
It's like-
It is.
Even myself.
What was it again? Is it
Talk to you later. Love
Talk
you.
to you later.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to GPS to God. Make sure you leave a rating or review on whichever app you happen to use. Also find us on YouTube and be sure to subscribe to our channel.